a delicious bowl of pasta with porcini mushroom sauce, maybe a lot of porcini mushroom sauce. That looks delicious. This is what happens when you have the greatest porcini season of your entire life. I picked so many porcini this year, so I have lots of dried mushrooms to go through. So today we're going to go through two really simple porcini pastas with dried mushrooms. The first one is a creamy version, and it's creamy because it has dairy. So the second version does not have dairy and it's a little bit lighter. This one is the one I would recommend that you make first. It's really just all about the porcini. First thing we got to do for both recipes is just rehydrate some mushrooms. We're going to use anywhere from about 20 to 28 grams of mushrooms, or 3/4 to about 1/4 of an ounce. Just rehydrate those. I'm using stock from cooking venison. You can use chicken stock, you can use vegetable stock, and then cut them into rough pieces. We don't want them too small, we don't want them too large either. You want to keep in mind how they're going to interact with the shape of the pasta. Then we're going to take a little shallot. Shallot's going to be a little bit milder than onion. We cut it a lot smaller, so it's just going to blend into the background. You will barely even know it's there, but it wouldn't be the same without it. Make some horizontal cuts, then make some vertical cuts, then boom, boom, boom. We cut that into a nice small dice. Now this is also optional. This is some smoked ribs of wild boar that I kind of cure like bacon. And you could use venison bacon, you could skip it, you could use pancetta, but you just want some small pieces of meat here. Like I said, this is optional too, but I really like it. Complements the porcini nicely because wild boar and porcini grow all over Tuscany, and I'm still thinking about my trip when I was there back in October. Next we're going to do, this is also optional. You can make it with only the mushrooms, but a little bit of a vegetable is good. We're going to cut the stems off a little spinach. Then we're going to put the wild boar bacon into a pan, cook it, get the fat out, add some shallot, add a little garlic. Then we're going to add the mushrooms. Then we're going to add a splash of dry white wine. Cook that. Now we're going to add the soaking liquid from the porcini. Now look here, you can see this is my lazy technique where there's not a lot of liquid left in the pan, but the dirt is left in the pan. I just don't pour all of the liquid in there, but I don't strain it. You can strain it if your mushrooms are dirty, but if you're kind of lazy, just don't put all the liquid in the pan. Then I'm going to add, cook that down. Then we're going to add a little spinach, a little cream, and the pasta. We're going to cook that all together until everything is just wonderful and thick and delicious. Now a little secret, okay, add the pasta water. The pasta water adds a little starch, and we're simmering the pasta in the sauce to finish it. This is one of those secrets of how pasta is made at restaurants. All the stuff and the aromas kind of infuse into the sauce. It coats the noodles. Add some butter and Parmesan at the end off the heat. Then a little bit of lemon juice to finish. And now when we plate it, we're twisting the noodles as they go onto the plate. Twist the noodles again, give you a little volume. Then we put all the goodies on top. Yum, yum, that looks delicious. And it was. Finish with a little chive. That's kind of the perfect garnish. Okay, next, the rustic porcini pasta. This does not include cream, but it does include butter. You could substitute the butter with olive oil if you want to make it dairy-free, or if you want to make it vegetarian. This is a more kind of fresh sauce. We're actually going to use some tomato that I got at the Asian market in the winter. This is a low quality tomato. But what we really want, we're going to peel this and take the seeds and the skins off, and it's going to kind of melt into the sauce. You could also use canned tomatoes, but this is going to be a little bit milder. They're just going to blend into the background. You don't want to use something like tomato paste. It's really easy for tomato paste to taste strong. We're just cutting these into pieces here. They're going to melt right into the sauce. But it's easy for tomato paste to taste strong and make your sauce taste kind of like ketchup, especially if you use too much. And it's easy to use too much in a small batch of pasta like we're going to make. So same thing as before. We are going to cook that bacon. You could leave the bacon in the pan if you want, or you can add it back in at the end to keep some of the texture. Then shallot, garlic, porcini. Cook that around in the fat. Now we're going to add the tomato. Then some nice hot chili flakes that my friend Hank Shaw grew over at Hunt Gather Cook. A splash of white wine. You see this is very similar to the other recipe. Then just like before, I'm putting the soaking liquid from the porcini in, but not all of it. And I've let that settle before I pour it in. Then right at the end, we toss in the noodles, give it a toss, and then to make that sauce, this is less saucy and juicy than the other one. A little bit of fresh mint, and plenty of butter and the bacon right at the end and the pasta water. Okay, so the pasta water is really the key, and we had the cheese off the heat. Otherwise, it's going to cook it, make it clumpy. And the pasta water really just brings everything together. It really is one of the secrets of making a great pasta sauce, because this is almost a sauceless pasta. It's not, doesn't have a whole bunch of tomato, doesn't have a whole bunch of cream, but it's still really good. I hope you enjoyed seeing 2 different fun pastas you can make from dried porcini mushrooms. The recipes are on my website. Thanks for watching.